I lift up my hands.
I will bless you as long as I live.
I will bless you as long as I live.
In your name, I'll lift up my hands.
In your name,
Come on, lift your hands. I will bless you as long as I live.
I will bless you as long as I live.
In your name, I'll lift up my hands.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Hey, y'all. I made it. I came in here on two wheels just a few minutes ago. We do appreciate so very much this historic station for working with us, and our wonderful engineer and electronic specialist and all of the above for assisting us with keeping this program going. I'm going to tell you, this is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, welcoming you to another edition of Ask Elaine. I just left federal court, y'all. Ooh, no, I was not on trial or anything. It was a federal case, and Henry Ficklin is down there too. We're going to get him unbusy enough to come back on the program and tell us about all the economic development projects that are going on in the community, because you need to know that there is something happening with your money and what exactly it is. But anyway, he's still there. This case involved, do y'all remember back last year or the year before when the Jewish synagogues were flooded with hate flyers and different folks? Well, I found out that they also received postcards. There were some people who were writing out threatening postcards and mailing them to these people. Today there was a guy on trial, and his name was Ramos. I think that was his last name. There were a number of us from the Black community who were there to give support to our Jewish sisters and brothers, and we have challenged them to show up for events that have to do with Black folks in the community, because this street runs both ways. If we come and support you against these hate groups, then you need to show up and support us against the hate groups, because by and large, it's going to be the same low down, dirty folks. And they're all tied to Trumpers who hate anybody who's Black or brown or who is not rich. And the sad thing is, they hate them too. They don't care anything about them. So one of these days, we're all going to wake up and realize that these folks, that we've got a mutual enemy. And but anyway, it was so interesting in the federal court down on Walnut Street. This court is set up, I mean, the molding, just the features of it is kind of different from the other courts, and it is grand. And I mean, it was just an interesting situation. And I sat and listened to the folks who were bringing the case, called an FBI agent who testified as to some of the other things that they had discovered about this man who sent the postcard. And so He had on his orange jumpsuit, had Butts County Jail on the back. So apparently that's where he was held. There were three law enforcement people who escorted him in. The minimum sentence they were talking about was 24 months to 30 months. And his attorney was arguing for time served. And so it's going to be interesting to see. Y'all watch the news tonight to see what the final sentencing comes out to be. But you know, if you're writing a postcard threatening somebody, you know, if you're threatening somebody, you've got hate in your heart. But his defense was that he didn't know that what he was doing was a crime. Well, I guess everybody has to have a defense, y'all. Somebody they gotta, and this was a sharp, smart, young black attorney. And I was so proud of his presentation and everything that I had to sit and kind of listen. And you know, they'll throw you out of the court down there if you make any noise and all this stuff. So one person's phone went off. I said, yeah, they headed out the door and they sneaked on out. And then I came on out when I got a chance to kind of ease out of there. It is a solemn place. It is a place that some of you ought to aspire to. And we ought to push our young folks to become involved in law. Because in that courtroom, I think I saw out of the 50 people who were in there, one, two, Henry Ficklin, three, Stanley Stewart, four, one of the attorneys in there, five, six, there were about 6 or 7 black. But oh, I forgot that one of the law enforcement folks from Butts County was black. Oh, and one of the bailiffs. So there are about what, 8 of us out of 50. That we got to do better. We got to do better. And so I encourage you, if you're interested in law, look at it. All right. Now, boy, you're invited to the water board meeting on tomorrow at 2:00. The committees will start 790 2nd Street in the Albert Billingsley building. You are cordially invited. One of the ways that we've been able to get some slow progress and improvements there is because you're showing up. You're showing up, you're speaking up, you're telling them about you don't want your water bills jacked up. And with Georgia Power and all that they're going to be putting on you, then you don't want all of your utilities jacked up. If there is a way, another way to make improvements without jacking up your water bill. You had 2 increases in 2025. There was a plan to do another one in 2026, but we were able to vote that one down. So I would just invite you to be there at 2 if you can, 4 for the general meeting, and you are welcome to make remarks and let folks know that you want more cooperation. We also need to have some of you who are sitting around talking about us old folks been there too long, and we need to step aside and let the young folks. I'm waiting for some of you young folks to step out there. There are a few of them who are getting out there. I'm waiting for y'all to step out there, show us what you're made of, show us what you're working with, and then we will support you for running. So we encourage all those who have leadership ability, and you've shown that you are on our side and you're smart and you're willing to work because it takes work. We want to see you qualifying for the District 5 commission seat is coming up, and the election's going to be March. Then qualifying for all of those other elections will happen in March, and the election is in May. So you Google Macon Bibb County elections 2026, get a list. And if you're interested, by all means, jump in there. Don't sit around and talk about those who are in office. They're doing the best they can, most of them. Some are not, but Don't talk about them because you don't know all that they have to do. You get out there and find out and run yourself. If you can do a better job, run yourself. I encourage you. But find out whether you qualify, find out what that entity does. Be prepared. All right, we want to welcome Ricky Crawford is here. Good afternoon. Commissioner Donis Bryant, I saw her this morning at the ribbon cutting for the Rosa Square Park this morning. She's a busy lady. Janelle Mathis is here. Good afternoon to you. And Jeanette Goff has joined us. Y'all please hit like and share. And those of you who've joined us on AM and FM, thank you so much. And those who are right here looking at us, we've got a treat for you. Senator Lucas is going to call in. He's in Atlanta. You know, they're in session. And I encourage, there's a Mr. Goolsby who's on the line. We're going to take his call and then Senator's calling in. Mr. Goolsby, welcome to Ask Elaine. Are you there?
Yes.
Mr. Goolsby, welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what can we do for you today?
Yes, I need to make a comment.
Yes, sir.
Yes, last night I was listening to the news and I heard our sheriff tapping himself on the shoulder about how fast him and his police got. Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Mr. Goolsby, go ahead. We hear you.
About how fast they got in Bellevue. If they could get there that fast when one of their police gets shot at, why they can't get there? Why they can't do it when one of our children gets shot in the streets?
That's a good question, Mr. Goolsby, and that's one that a lot of people are asking.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sure a lot of people are concerned. We want to welcome Sherry Shannon Miller. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us on Ask Elaine today. Mr. Goolsby, are you still on? Okay, I think we lost him because I was going to ask him to share just a little bit more about what he thinks citizens can do. Okay, I started to tell. Thank you, Mr. Goolsby. Senator Lucas is representing us. He's on duty in the state Senate. He's finished with today's session, and he is on the line. He's going to give us an update as to what's going on at your state capitol, specifically the state Senate. And many of you have heard his speech from the well that we have shared on Facebook. If not, go to my Facebook page, Elaine Lucas for Water Board District 1, and you can listen to the senator's his presentation, his speech from the well of the Georgia State Senate on all of this stuff, this ICE killing people, all of this stuff, the unfair Republican projects and things. So, Senator Lucas, welcome to Ask Elaine.
Thanks very much.
Okay, so tell us what legislation has already come through, what's of interest to us, what we can look forward to seeing as far as Middle Georgia is concerned. And welcome. We're so happy that you could call in.
Well, today was a short day because we had a joint session to hear the judiciary. The Chief Justice of the state of Georgia State Supreme Court. And after that, then we were out. But what happened the other day was the Republicans did a resolution to pass a resolution to tell the Secretary of State to turn all our voter information over to the Justice Department. And by law, he has not done that because he would be violating the Constitution of the state.
Right. Right.
And now they get your information. Ain't no telling what they do with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you dealing with a federal government that does everything that Donald Trump says. If you notice, they released the files on Epstein, but they had redacted everything.
Yeah, well, he's listed about 3,000 times. There are about 3,000 mentions.
Well, they redact his name. That's what the problem is.
Yeah.
Everybody know what the problem is. He was partying with Trump. He's in the file, and they redact his name wherever it was, so you can't say that he was doing something he had no business doing. And that's all it is. But I mean, right now we're overseas off the Iranian coast, and here we are, and it looks like we might end up going to war with Iran.
Well, how many is that? I mean, he's got he's setting fires all over everywhere. David,
you know that the problem is you go to war with Iran, and you got a presidential election coming up. They're gonna suspend the election.
That's his goal.
So Donald Trump stays in office. I mean, the man is slick. He ain't dumb as folks think he is. He's done everything to get you off of Epstein files. What you're dealing with now is these thugs that they hide, talk about border security and ICE. That's what he's doing. He's got his own police force, and now he's going in the states, and especially those states that voted against him.
Yeah.
But you know, Texas has been one of their strongholds, and they elected a Democratic senator in Texas.
Yeah,
so that changed the dynamics over there.
Well, there are projections that there may be for Georgia that Georgia's gonna go very, very strong. Our problem here in Georgia is that we won't vote in the numbers that are registered. You've got Lamario Brown running for that other Senate seat to come to Atlanta to the Senate and assist and work along with you in getting priorities passed for this area. And when early voting starts, the election is February 17th. And so early voting is going to be next week. So you wonder how many people are going to, in District 18, are going to go vote.
Well, you know, that is the system that we use to elect folks. So don't complain if you don't vote. Do not complain if you don't vote. And what we have to do is understand that voting is a necessity in order to elect folks who will do your will up here at the state, at the Capitol here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know, just like, you know, we passed some bills and stuff, but that resolution passed, it went down party lines, 32-21.
The resolution.
It was a resolution. It wasn't a bill, it was a resolution. Telling the Secretary of State to turn over all our stuff. And the Secretary of State has refused to do it.
Right. Patrick adds that Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is refusing to turn over sensitive personal information from Georgia's voter rolls to the U.S. Department of Justice in response to the Trump administration's ongoing legal campaign aimed at forcing state and local officials to disclose voter roll information to the federal government. And if they get the voter rolls, they can certainly tamper with the elections in the state. Constitution says that states handle elections within each state.
where they showed up in Fulton County with a warrant and took all the voter information away from Fulton County election officials. In Fulton County, that's what they did.
Yeah. Commissioner Bryant wants the number to the Senate to talk with representatives at the Capitol. If anyone wants that list, you can simply go to Georgia General Assembly, and then you will get a website, and it will have on there different categories, and you can simply click on Senate, House of Representatives, or whatever entity there that you want to reach, and you can get all of that information right there on your phone or laptop or desktop, for those of you who are interested and who need that information. But Raffensperger has gotten the attention of Trump when Trump first called him and told him that he needed him to find 11,000 plus votes. And that was the exact number of votes that he lost Georgia to Biden by. And we've all heard it.
Well, the Secretary of State was smart. He taped the conversation, because if you hadn't taped it, Trump would lie on him like he's doing now.
Yeah. For those of you who have just joined us, you have tuned in to Ask Elaine. This is here. We're here at historic WDDO radio, and we're so grateful to be on this rainy day, but at least it's not freezing cold. We welcome those who've joined us on AM, FM, and we wish the best of luck to candidate Lamario Brown, who we were going to try and have him on today, but he was unavailable. He was on another engagement. We will have him on next week. He is in a runoff. He got almost 40% of the vote in a 5 or 6 way race, which is great. But if we don't turn back out, the Republicans will team up on him and go for the Republican who is in the runoff with Lamario Brown. So we encourage you, if you're in Senate District 18, check your voter registration status and you'll get all of that information. Go to my voter page, Secretary of State, and you can get all your information. If you voted in the election, the original election, you can vote in this runoff. If you did not vote in that primary, you can still vote in the runoff if you're in District 18. Commission race.
One of the things that we have to realize, we have to vote. You got to understand that Republicans in the state of Georgia are following Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the problem. They are doing his bidding. That's the reason he keeps doing it. But we have to stand up for what's right. We look at health insurance in the state of Georgia. They didn't put the money in for ACA. But we put money in and we can't get health care. We can't get Medicaid expansion. And Georgia puts money in the federal budget for that, and it's going to other states, and we're not able to claim any of it. And we got all these folks, we got hospitals in rural communities that are closing because they don't have the money.
Yeah, didn't you reintroduce the Medicaid expansion bill?
I did.
Last session, it failed by
one vote coming out of committee.
Yeah. And the Crawfords reminded me of that system that they put in place that the Republicans have. It's called the Hawk system. and they have this thing where they can send, this person might not be on the committee. They can send a Republican into a committee to have a vote instantly on any issue. Now, is that fair? You got a committee, and then you know, so that's the way the Republicans deal. We have got to vote and get the Democrats back in the majority in the state of Georgia and in these United States, or we are going to be extinct. Earth will be no more. And so we want to welcome Pastor Lisa. We want to welcome Steve Bryant, who is in Virginia, who grew up in Pleasant Hill. Ava Jean Sullivan Henderson, good afternoon to you. Of course, we've said Pastor Lisa. Patrick reminds us that 6,000 Black bib voters from State Senate 18 who participated in 2024 did not participate in this last election. Most of the bib voters live west of Interstate 475, including Lizella. So we are begging you, we are pleading with you, please go vote. There is a chance. Don't let the Republicans take this seat because they're in the majority. They're doing what they want to do. They just simply outvote you, just like the Republican majority on the water board. And they sit up and outvote me and Desmond Brown, and then they brag about it. They proudly announce that's 5-2. And they're not just talking to us two Democrats. They're talking about all of you. They're talking to all of you, that they're outvoting us and not voting in your best interest. Senator, we really appreciate you taking time and calling in so that we could ask you, tell us what else is an issue. I understand you, as I posted it, you made a speech. You went to the well, which is the podium at the front of the Senate. And you were talking about ICE. You were talking about the Republicans. What was your basic message?
My message was, and I went back to when I came up as a kid and brought it all the way forward, dealing with Trump, ICE, and what's happening in our communities. And what you have to realize is that the majority of the folks you see in all these demonstrations don't look like David Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
And they are tired because you take the guy that was a nurse that just got killed.
Yeah, murdered.
He was laying on the ground. They had taken his gun, which he had a permit to carry, and he was flat on his face. That means he got shot in the back.
Yeah. And how many times do you have to shoot somebody 10 times to kill them? They shot him, what? Was it 6 or 10?
I think it was 6 or 7 times. But it was wrong, and the only thing he was doing was helping a lady who they had pushed down.
Yeah.
So we need to understand, Donald Trump said that when he got elected, he was going to be dictator on day one. He's acting just like Putin.
Yeah.
Putin killed all of his opposition. The guy that was headed to Russia, and they stopped him and talked to him, and then he got bombed in the plane that he was riding. So Putin killed him.
Yeah.
And what Donald Trump plans to do is to kill anybody that says anything against him.
Yeah. He's already guilty of murder. He's already blown out of the water a bunch of folks that they claim were running drugs. They have yet to show
that was all
true.
to deal with the oil in Venezuela. Now, he's going to go in, and the next thing you know, his son-in-law is going to be one of the owners of the oil field.
Of course, if he's not already. Yeah. Pastor Lisa says, we so appreciate our Senator David Lucas for standing strong and continuing to fight for the people's best interest. You've been in the legislature this is your 51st session of the legislature. You still sound pretty good. There's some people saying you've been there a long, long time.
Well, you know what I look at is young folks need to understand that the fight ain't over.
No, it's
and Republicans at this point in time are showing us that we don't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and you know they want to call me brother, but am I really their brother? They don't think about me.
Well, you're not my brother if you murder me.
So you have to fight for those folks who sent you to Atlanta. That is my job, to speak for them.
Yeah.
And to fight for those things that mean something to them.
Yeah. Mildred Inslee is watching here. Shalia Foster, a member of Historic Stewart Chapel, is on. Let's see. And Patrick reminds us that Trump's border czar is pulling 700 immigration officers out of Minnesota immediately. Those folks are out, have been picketing and protesting ever since those two people were well, there were really three, because there was a black man that was murdered before the white woman and the white man. So there were actually three people murdered and countless other people who were shot, who were beaten up in Minneapolis. And so those people said, no, we're not, enough is enough. And so they've been protesting for a long, long time, and they show no signs of backing up. Senator,
from now, everyone I do, I'm gonna make a copy.
Senator.
Yeah.
Senator.
Yeah.
We just finished saying, we were talking about the people in Minneapolis and how they're protesting, and it's nonstop. There's a movement to have the No Kings rallies again in a couple of months to encourage people to participate in all the elections and to fight oppression. You've got to fight back. You can't just sit and talk.
Look, it is freezing up there, and they in the street.
They're in the
That's
street.
just what it means up there. You know, it's not as cold in the South as it is up there. But, you know, it is what it is. And we have to understand that we have to do our part. We have to do our part. And voting is what sends folks to the state capitol.
Uh-huh.
And so if you don't vote, then you don't count.
Patrick has a question, Senator.
You don't count.
Senator Patrick has a question.
Yeah.
Are you ready? His question is, will Republicans try to propose reducing early voting in Georgia from 3 weeks to 1 week?
But they probably will.
Didn't your partner, Rick Williams, who's in our delegation, because he represents about 2 folks up in North Macon? I'm exaggerating, is maybe 200, but he was his district.
Rick Williams got the largest black precinct in my district when they split it up.
Mm-hmm.
To bring him in as a senator
to diminish your strength. So you're saying, has it been proposed, or you think it will be proposed?
what will be
To
proposed.
reduce
He's
early
already.
voting, to reduce early voting in Georgia.
You cannot tell. The only thing you do if they bring it up, what you do is fight it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they are in the majority. But Lamario Brown, if he gets elected to the Senate, he will be one voice, one more voice,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we need.
We
You know,
sure do.
we won two uh, public service commission seats,
Right.
and hopefully we can keep on winning.
We've got to vote in that because the Black Republican who held the seat previously, his name is Fritz Johnson, Black man, announced yesterday that he's going to seek that seat because this last election with Harper was for just a short time, and he's going to be on the ballot this time. And Fritz Johnson, the Black Republican, has announced he's going to be running again. So if we don't show up and show out, then our one of our two Democrats could lose that seat that we went out and voted and had this person to win. So it's a lot going on. We have got to be vigilant. We've got to be on top of this. We can't be talking about who's doing this, who's doing that. We have got to be focused on what we have got to do in our best interest, or we're lost. We're gonna be gone. They're gonna.
Well, you know, it is what it is, but you know, we have to do our due diligence, and we had to vote.
Right.
There's no excuse for voting. So I tell everybody, if it's cold, get up out the bed, put on your overalls, go vote, and come back home.
Right. Senator, before you leave us and before we run out of time, you were instrumental, you and the Crawfords were instrumental in getting the information together and nominating Coach Copeland, Alvin Copeland, for the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. People were amazed that he was not already in the Sports Hall of Fame. Talk about that just a little bit.
Well, I mean, you had folks who were on the Hall of Fame board who were choosing people. And of course, they used to talk about Coach Bazemo down in Valdosta at the Valdosta High School. He won state championship. Well, Alvin Copeland won 14 state championships.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been in the Sports Hall of Fame long time ago. But he's going in now. And we in Macon need to go to the Sports Hall of Fame and support him.
Right. It's going to be in 2 weeks, around the February, what is it? 14th, 15th, 14th or 15th. Anyway, it's normally at the city auditorium. It's a wonderful event, and we ought to be there to cheer on one of our own who's put us on the map, helped to put us on the map, Coach Alvin Copeland. Yeah. And so we want to thank you for using your influence and the Crawfords for pushing it.
Yeah. Well, I got to go to a committee meeting, so I'm going to have to cut my conversation short.
Before you go, tell us the committees that you serve on.
Appropriations, public utilities, transportation, insurance, and human and health services committee.
Okay, and you were a special appointee to a cultural arts. What is the one on one that oversees movies and entertainment and all that?
I was appointed to a Sports Hall of Fame committee.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But anyway, I got to go. I'm running
Senator,
late.
thank you very, very much.
All
Wade
right.
Horton says hello to you.
All
Thank you. This has been State Senator David Lucas,
right.
who's that we've been talking to. He's at the state capitol. After the session this morning, then usually the representatives and senators have committee meetings. Those of you who would like to go to the Capitol and who are just going, you'd like to go and um, spend the day at the Capitol. All you need to do is let whichever representative you have and your senator, Senator Lucas, uh, give us a call or send an email. Let us know that you're going to be there. We can make contact with his administrative folks at the Capitol. His office is in the Capitol building because he is the longest serving senator and legislator in Atlanta now, still serving 51 years. The only person who had more, I forget his name, but he had 57 years. He's no longer serving. But Senator Lucas has an office in the Capitol, and he will be glad to have you as his guest that day. You can monitor the whole thing, go to the House side, the Senate side, find your representatives, your senators, and go in, get a picture with them, and then just see a whole lot of what you own. You own the state capitol buildings and all of the others around there. You own all this stuff here in Macon, which brings me to a congratulations, a very big shout out to the Friends of Rosa Parks Square. Um, there's a committee that's been formed for a long time, and they have pushed to, well, I'm going to go back to the beginning. Former mayor and Macon's only black mayor, C. Jack Ellis, put in place the Rosa Parks Square. He went to the family of Rosa Parks and got permission from them while he served for us to rename Civic Square to Rosa Parks Square. They gave permission. We went through the movement to get all of that done, and Mayor Ellis shepherded all that through, but the park needed to be upgraded. And so some money was raised under Mayor Robert Rickard's administration, but not enough. And under this administration, we have had the money raised, and the ribbon was cut on Rosa Parks Square this morning. Because of the rain, the ceremony was held in council chambers. And then groups went outside to cut a ribbon on the portico of the building, City Hall. And if you watch the news tonight, you will see the festivities. The council chambers was full. Dr. Henry Ficklin presided along with the mayor over the ceremony. And it was just a wonderful thing. And today is Rosa Parks' birthday. So we want all of you who don't know as much as you'd like to know about Rosa Parks, please Google Rosa Parks, read all you can about Rosa Parks. By the way, this shortest month of the year, February, is Black History Month. And so we ought to celebrate. We ought to celebrate year round. But during February, when they did give us a month, the shortest month, let's celebrate. Look around you in your own family and give respect and tribute to your Black history in your family. Many of you are making history. So continue doing that. But we must learn our history. We must insist that Black history be placed prominently back into the school system. But you can't do it sitting at home talking about, I sure wish they would do this. They ought to do this. They ought to do that. Get out, go to them, face them, and make those requests. You pay for all of the services and everything, salaries, cars, everything that's going on, that's in place in this community, in Macon Bibb, in the state of Georgia, in this country. Trump is operating off of your money. Kemp is operating off of your money, giving tax credits to folks, giving you 2 or 3 cents, but giving them millions of dollars. Here in Macon Bibb, you're paying for the services that take place, that are in place here in Macon Bibb. So rather than sitting and fussing about it and talking about who's in office and they ought to be, while you're doing that, the other folks are continuing to move that money out of your grasp. Pastor Lisa says, even during the rain, we celebrated Rosa Parks on her birthday. It was wonderful. Randy, welcome to Ask Elaine. And I don't want to miss anybody. Dorothy Ridley, the sister of our first and only Black mayor, was there this morning. The Browns were there. As usual, they are at most things, they're the cutest couple. Commissioner Bryant says we need to vote because they count us out. They really do. Their thought is that they're not going to go vote. They're just going to sit around and fuss about stuff. And then they don't ask for things. I'm talking about Black and brown folks. We don't ask for what is our right to ask for. We might call one time, we might fuss a little bit, and then we're finished with it. We come and we say, my water bill jumped 100% this month, and then it went down, and then it jumped 100% again. You come one time, and you don't show again. You just accept it. So as long as that happens, then they're going to continue doing. They've got the game plan. And so we have got to do our part. We will be honored to have Lamario Brown on the program next week. And we will talk with him about what he's doing to win that runoff election in Senate District 18. So you need to get ready and see if you're in Senate District 18. Minister Mildred Inslee, and forgive me if it's Reverend or whatever the title is. She says, thank you, Senator Lucas, for speaking truth to power for the people for 51 years. A lot of cultures place a lot of respect on those folks who've served for a long, long time. Orientals have the utmost respect for their elders. Many, many other groups, I just don't understand our lack of respect for those folks who've been there a while and endured all the things so that it will be easier for the rest of us. But I mean, I don't know. If anybody has an answer to that question, please let me know. Pastor Lisa says, we owe Mayor C. Jack Ellis for initiating Rosa Parks Square in Macon Bibb. And we want to thank all the others who have been a part of, working toward funding for Rosa Parks Square. Patrick says we have a District 5 special election on March 17th. Early voting starts during the last week of February. District 5 has a 57% Black voting population. And if the truth be known, it may be a little bit more than that. because a lot of people didn't answer the census. So there are more people than they think. Peggy Israel says, thanks, former Mayor Ellis, and we look forward to honoring you as our Black History speaker at Greater Allen Chapel on February 15th at 10 a.m. We're going to need to try and make that. I could get to that at 10 and then hop on over to Stewart Chapel by 11. My pastor, Dr. West, if I sneak in a little bit late, she might not get upset. Mildred Inslee says, Black history is important. Let's pull together to get it back in place. Yes, it needs to be in the school. It's called what? Multicultural races or multicultural studies. Well, we want Black history. That's not a good replacement. Power concedes nothing without a demand. Frederick Douglass said it never has, never will. So, okay, Dorothy Ridley, you are so very welcome. We are pleased to serve. And by the way, Senator Lucas has announced that he's going to be running for re-election. He will be on the ballot, the May ballot. And we already have heard that there are some people who are scheming to come up with opposition, and that's fine. Everybody, these seats are open. They don't belong to any one person. So you run if you want to. You just need to be ready. Senator Lucas will be running for re-election. I will be seeking re-election to a full 4-year term on the Macon Water Authority. We've got to keep these rates down. We've got to modernize and make sure that you aren't left with substandard pipes and work in your neighborhood when other folks are getting theirs done. So I'm committed to that. Desmond Brown is going to be running for the Water Board. And so we just hope that we can get the support of Mr. Cotton, who's a retiree from Macon-Bibb County. And I understand, retirees, they retire, but they don't stay retired. He's been working, but when you have those skills, you can drive heavy equipment and all kinds of stuff, which many of our brothers can do. After you retire from one job, you can get another one. And, Mr. Cotton, welcome to Ask Elaine. And Charlia says we both will have her support. We hope that we have done what you needed us to do in addressing your concerns, and we always will do that in or out of office. So just a little hint to folks, you can work out of office. You don't have to be in office to do some work. So just want to say that. We are just about out of time. We do appreciate you so very much. Remember that the election for Senate District 18, we need to elect Lamario Brown to go to Atlanta to the Senate to work with Senator Lucas in getting our goals taken care of. And there are only a few more votes that we need before we can take over the Senate, have a Democratic majority. And over in the House, they're working on those numbers too. So in order for us to get done what we need to get done for our folks, we've got to have the voting majority in these bodies. We can only have that if you are registered and if you vote every time. So on behalf of the great folks here and Senator Lucas, who joined us, Priscilla Stanley has joined us. Thank you. Priscilla is just the Energizer Bunny. She's all over town doing all kinds of stuff for folks. And we're going to spotlight some of these community helpers, some of these Energizer Bunnies who do all of this work, and they need to be recognized. So we're going to be doing that once we get these elections done. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Until next week, this is your voice, Elaine Lucas, thanking you for tuning in today. We will see you again next week, 3 p.m. WDDO for another edition of Ask Elaine.